Hello. While I'm down in Washington, we're releasing these pre-recorded videos about meta aspects of the campaign. I want to talk a little bit about the narrative of the campaign, why we presented things the way we have, because it's pretty unusual and a number of friends have asked about it. For starters, the answer to every question of why didn't you talk about such and such an issue is, if we gave our opinion on every issue, how would the public know which issues we think are important or not? Giving an opinion on everything is the fastest way to muddle your brand and to make it harder for people to find out what you're really about. And it's worse if the media picks up on your campaign, because they'll amplify the topics that are important to them, no matter what you say your focus is. So besides being a lot less work, the very act of choice of what to talk about is teaching people more about us than making those videos actually would. Another big question, why don't we present any facts or figures at all? Why don't we reference studies or articles or reports or give any evidence of anything? This is an easier one. For one thing, we don't have the money or staff to do that if we wanted to. Supporting yourself pundit style like that is actually extremely expensive. It's important down in the trenches work, but it's better left to bigger networks. For another, it doesn't actually feel appropriate in this format. Our goal has been to present what feels obviously true based on what we can see with our own eyes, based on commonly agreed facts, like one might have a conversation at a dinner table. Nobody brings papers to a dinner table. You don't show up with a dossier or notes like you were prepping for a debate. That would be crazy. But it also wouldn't prove anything other than that you had way too much time on your hands. Thirdly, though, by far the easiest way to say something extravagantly false is to immediately back it up with some supposed study or numbers that nobody present can verify or dispute. We actually have a deep and reasonable suspicion for people who spend their time researching facts and counterpoints on the internet just so they can come home and argue with you better. Our thinking is, the plain and simple arguments shouldn't need that kind of support. Not just because they're things that most people believe already, but because they don't need this or that fact to prove them, because everything proves them. A final question, why have we been so careful not to express preference for either candidate? The answer is, we are trying to carve out a third narrative space where people can be comfortable. The biggest problem trying to talk politics with acquaintances, in our experience, is there is a narrow party line of opinions everybody is expected to hold. And if you venture outside that circle without immediately apologizing for it, you're considered to be suspect, a kind of spy, an agent for the other side. It's very, very difficult to calmly express criticism for views or people who are considered to be on your team. And if you're trying to do this in a group of people larger than 4, just forget it. So we are, in our own little way, trying to create a new, respectable narrative home right over here in no man's land. A third place, not just as a refuge for people of conscience to congregate without loyalty oaths or a political agenda, not just that, but as a first step in muddying the waters a little, maybe re-muddying the waters, creating a middle ground as the first in a series of middle grounds, a chain of lily pads to stretch from one side to the other and ultimately, perhaps, connect them once again.